What if I told you the formula for building wealth has remained almost unchanged for thousands of years? Across ancient empires, medieval kingdoms, and modern-day superpowers, a pattern repeats itself. In today's video, we'll reveal 7 proven strategies for building wealth through history. These strategies aren't just timeless. They're powerful shortcuts the wealthy have always used. Stick around, because strategy number 6 ties it all to what's happening in the world right now. Let me take you back to the 1800s. Meet Andrew Carnegie, a poor Scottish immigrant who arrived in America with next to nothing. But Carnegie noticed something others didn't. Railroads were expanding across the country, and every mile of track needed steel. Carnegie jumped headfirst into steel production, compounded his profits, and by the time he sold his company to J.P. Morgan, he was worth over $300 million. That's billions today. Here's the twist. Carnegie's wealth wasn't just built on steel. It was built on spotting trends early, reinvesting aggressively, and scaling faster than his competitors. Carnegie's story is the perfect reminder that wealth isn't about luck. It's about pattern recognition and action. Just like Carnegie spotted the railroad boom, you too can find wealth-building patterns happening today. So if you want to sharpen that mindset and unlock these historical wealth strategies, hit that subscribe button now and join our community of savvy wealth builders. Let's kick things off with the oldest wealth strategy on the planet, owning land and controlling agriculture. Back in ancient Mesopotamia, the wealthiest families weren't the ones with the fanciest jewelry. They were the ones who owned the farmland. Why? Because crops are life. When you control food production, you control survival, and by default, the economy. Kings, pharaohs, and feudal lords alike built their empires on fertile land. The Roman Empire? It was fed by grain fields from Egypt. The British aristocracy? Generations of wealth from sprawling estates. The irony is, while modern society obsesses over digital assets and crypto coins, the world's billionaires like Bill Gates are quietly buying up farmland across America. Here's how to play it. Smarter. Whether you're investing in actual farmland, agricultural ETFs, or REITs focused on land development, the land is wealth principle still holds. Even zoning laws or buying up land in growing cities can position you for future gains. Let's hear from you. Do you think land will always be the ultimate asset, even in our tech-driven age? Drop your thoughts below. Next up, I proved that the best business model sometimes comes down to getting paid, no matter who wins or loses. All right. Let's move on to one of history's most underrated wealth plays, owning the infrastructure behind commerce. Let's rewind to the Silk Road. For centuries, empires grew rich not by producing goods, but by controlling the paths through which goods traveled. The Mongols, they mastered this. By securing trade routes from Asia to Europe, they taxed merchants along the way, amassing vast wealth without ever producing a single silk scarf. This concept has echoed through history, from Venice monopolizing sea lanes to the British Navy controlling the seas, shaping who got rich and who didn't. And today, Amazon isn't just an online marketplace, it's the digital Silk Road, handling logistics, warehousing, and fulfillment. Their power lies in the infrastructure, not just the products. How to apply this like the wealthy do? Think distribution. Whether investing in logistics companies, fulfillment centers, or even digital platforms like Shopify or Etsy, you're tapping into the timeless strategy of owning the roads that make commerce possible. Here is the deal. Would you rather own the shop or the road that gets products to the shop? Coming up, I will uncover how ancient financiers mastered the wealth game long before Wall Street existed. Now, let's dive into a hybrid strategy that built empires. buying when others panic, and using leverage to do it. The Medici family of Renaissance Florence weren't just savvy merchants. They pioneered modern banking. Their brilliance? They didn't just wait for the market to be perfect. They made bold moves when others hesitated. When Europe was mired in uncertainty, the Medicis extended credit, funded kings, and financed risky expeditions that others wouldn't touch. But here's the kicker. They didn't just invest with their own capital. They leveraged. They used deposits, influence, and early credit systems to amplify their buying power. While others hoarded gold and feared instability, the Medicis bought influence, assets, and opportunities at bargain prices. Fast forward to today, and you'll notice billionaires applying the same strategy. In times of market panic, recessions, crashes, crises, they swoop in and deploy smart leverage. Think real estate moguls snagging foreclosed properties during downturns, or hedge funds borrowing to snap up undervalued assets while everyone else is paralyzed by fear. The irony. While most people avoid debt and hoard cash during financial storms, the wealthy use those storms as buying seasons, fueled by leverage. Let's put this into action. Study how the wealthy use downturns to buy undervalued assets, real estate, stocks, businesses, and amplify results with responsible leverage. It's not about recklessness. It's about moving strategically when others freeze. I'm curious, what do you think? Have you ever considered using leverage to build wealth? Or does debt still make you nervous? Comment power if you're ready to explore how the rich borrow smart. Coming up soon, Strategy 5 will transport us into one of the most timeless wealth plays, land ownership, and why it's still relevant in today's high-tech world. All right, let's shift gears into the next wealth-building powerhouse. Stop chasing paychecks and start thinking like a dynasty builder. While most people are stuck on the hamster wheel chasing that next paycheck or dreaming of a slightly bigger bonus, the world's wealthiest families have been playing a completely different game, a multi-generational one. Take the Rockefellers or the Rothschilds. They weren't worried about clocking in or negotiating salaries. They were laying the foundation for dynasties, structures designed to protect, grow, and pass down wealth over centuries, not decades. Here's the irony. Most people work 40 years hoping for a comfortable retirement, while dynasties use compounding assets, trusts, and family offices to build wealth streams that flow for 100-plus years. These families aren't just focused on growing businesses, they're obsessed with protecting wealth through ironclad legal structures like irrevocable trusts, holding companies, and estate planning. It's like building a financial fortress around their empire. Even when the next generation comes along, they inherit not just money, but an entire system designed to multiply it. And it's not just the old money families doing this anymore. Modern billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk have already created mechanisms to safeguard their wealth long after they're gone, whether through foundations, private equity vehicles, or charitable trusts. Now let's put this into action. You don't have to be a Rockefeller to start thinking dynamically. Begin by setting up a revocable living trust, creating streams of passive income like rental properties or dividend-paying stocks, and educating your family about managing wealth. Your financial legacy can become your family's launchpad, not just your personal safety net. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want more topics like this, comment the word MORE so I know. Strategy number 5. Control scarcity. Now, let's unlock the inner workings of the monopoly mindset. Carnegie controlled steel. Rockefeller cornered oil. Today, Apple dominates premium smartphones. Throughout history, those who controlled scarce resources or monopolized markets dictated the terms. It's not about selling a product, it's about becoming the only game in town. Control the supply, and you control the price. Take Andrew Carnegie. He didn't just sell steel. He acquired competitors, controlled production bottlenecks, and ensured that anyone who needed steel for bridges, railroads, or buildings had to go through him. Rockefeller? Same story, but with oil pipelines. Fast forward, and Apple's closed ecosystem, iPhones, App Store services, is modern-day scarcity control. They don't just sell products, they lock consumers into their world. And here's a twist. Scarcity doesn't always mean physical resources. Today, attention is the new scarcity. Social media platforms monopolize our attention spans, shaping consumer habits and driving billions in ad revenue. Even Amazon's Prime service, it's scarcity in disguise. By creating a loyalty loop with faster shipping and exclusive perks, they reduce your chances of shopping elsewhere. It's strategic monopolization. Here's how to flip the script. In your own ventures, big or small, identify ways to build your scarcity moat. Can you dominate a micro-niche? Can you lock customers into your service through convenience, exclusivity, or superior value? Let me ask you, what's one brand you feel stuck with because no other competitor comes close? Let's zoom out and unlock Strategy 6. Reading the global chessboard, where wealth isn't just built, it's repositioned across borders and empires. As we've seen so far, building wealth isn't just about the personal choices we make, it's also shaped by forces much larger than us. Historically, empires rose by controlling trade routes, resources, and influence. Fast forward to today, and the patterns are eerily familiar. Just like ancient empires redrew borders for power and profit, the Romans expanding across Europe, or the British Empire shaping global trade, modern superpowers are quietly echoing these moves. There's increasing speculation about how the U.S. is strengthening its grip over the Americas, while Russia pushes into Eastern Europe and China eyes Taiwan and the South Pacific. But let's zoom out even further. The wealthiest families and corporations have always understood that global trends dictate local opportunities. The Rothschilds banked on financing wars across nations, while modern billionaires invest heavily in regions where geopolitical winds favor economic growth. Here's the kicker. The same playbook applies today. Trade wars, supply chain shifts, and military tensions directly influence where wealth moves. While the average person scrolls past global headlines, the rich are already buying land in emerging hotspots, moving assets offshore, or quietly funding the industries that will benefit most from these tectonic shifts. Want an uncommon insight? Historically, countries that dominated shipping lanes or rare resources, think British control over India's spices or Saudi Arabia's oil reserves, saw explosive economic growth. Modern parallels? Think of rare earth minerals in Africa or semiconductor production hubs in Southeast Asia. Let's put this into action. Start treating world news like financial intelligence. Which industries, commodities, or regions are poised to surge based on these global plays? Position yourself early, and you'll play the game like the empires of old. Strategy 7, Master Patience, the compounding effect. Patience, the most underestimated weapon in the arsenal of the ultra-wealthy. Time is the friend of the wonderful business, the enemy of the mediocre. Warren Buffett. It's no coincidence that Buffett attributes 90% of his net worth to what happened after his 50th birthday. Why? Because compounding rewards those who play the long game. Andrew Carnegie didn't build his steel empire overnight. He reinvested profits year after year, creating an unstoppable machine. Jeff Bezos? Amazon ran at razor-thin margins for over a decade, prioritizing market dominance over short-term gains. The payoff? Unparalleled wealth creation. Here's the irony. While the average person jumps from one get-rich-quick scheme to another, the truly wealthy are playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. They allow time and patience to do the heavy lifting, stacking gains on top of gains like layers of bricks. And here's the analogy that will stick with you. Wealth building is like growing an orchard. You plant seeds today, water them consistently, and resist the urge to chop down the tree for quick firewood. Years later, you're not just enjoying the shade, you're harvesting fruit for generations. Uncommon insight? Studies show that patient investors who simply ride out market cycles, even during crashes, outperform most short-term traders over the long haul. The data proves it. Time multiplies returns. Let's put this into action. Start treating time as your business partner. Prioritize investments and strategies that reward patience. Index funds, long-term real estate plays, dividend stocks, or scalable businesses with compounding potential. Delay gratification, and the wealth curve will tilt heavily in your favor. So now that we've uncovered 7 proven strategies for building wealth through history, let's stitch it all together and bring it home with impact. Let's break this down like a billionaire playbook. First, own the infrastructure. From Roman roads to Rockefeller's oil pipelines to today's digital platforms, those who control the flow of goods, services, or information control the cash register. Next, build exclusive networks. History's most powerful figures, from the Medici bankers to Silicon Valley insiders, leveraged connections to unlock doors money alone couldn't. Then, buy when others panic. The Rothschilds famously scooped up assets during market chaos. The wealthy don't run from fear, they capitalize on it. Think Dynasty, not paycheck. The Carnegies, Rockefellers, and modern-day Bezos all built legacies, not just salaries. They weren't working for Friday, they were working for centuries. Control scarcity. Monopolize niches. Control vital resources or services. Whether it's steel, data, or attention, those who limit supply dictate the price. Study the global chessboard. From empire building to modern geopolitics, wealth gravitates toward power centers. The world is shifting, and the savvy are positioning themselves where opportunity will strike next. Finally, master patience. The ultimate wealth-building accelerant. Compounding takes time, but those who wait reap exponential rewards. Now let's put this into action. Here's how you can apply these ancient yet proven tactics today. Step 1. Pick one strategy, just one, and commit to implementing it this month. Will you invest in a side hustle, own infrastructure, or nurture high-level relationships, exclusive network? Step 2. Shift your perspective. Look beyond personal finances and start watching how power moves globally. Geopolitics is wealth in disguise. Step 3. Automate your patience. Set up recurring investments in assets like index funds, real estate syndications, or long-term businesses, and let compounding work silently in your favor. The magic isn't in trying to do everything at once. It's in mastering one timeless principle, then stacking the next. If you found this video valuable, I highly recommend watching my next video, which is the perfect complement to this one. Don't hesitate to share this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.